I'll try to show you this coasting thing because it's irritating me. I'm going to share this with Robert too. Maybe he has some bright ideas. The board is pretty standard setup for the puffer board. I did change the resistor for the 500 down to a 100, I think. Yes, 100. And everything else is the same, I believe. Either they're 5.1s or 4.7s. 4.7 maybe. In any case, here's the puff trigger. And I'm just going to hit it once and let go. And you'll see, okay, there is a wrench thing there, but it sort of coasts, is what I call coasting. Oh, now I pulled the wire out. Okay. That's why when I let it rattle like that, I usually hold it in my hand, but I'm trying to get video here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the stop. Let's see, we come into the station, and you see it turns on, which is the idle power. It's getting 3 volts, which is way too high. The fan, the smoke is flying out faster than if we're steaming, okay? But if I turn these volts down on this pot over here, the pot next to the relay, by the time I get it down to where I like it, it's running. I stop it, I turn it off, turn it back on, the motor won't start. It needs like 3 volts, it seems, to start. And that's not really what I want. I'll just try it to 2. I got it down to 2. It's a little tamer, okay? Now what I do is I rock the tender. Now we're doing Puff and Chuff like that, okay? Fine. Fine. Be hard to take. I don't care. And now I'm going to do it again. And as you can see, there's no idle. And then if I hit it with my finger, it takes off at 2 volts. It won't start. And I have this tiny capacitor. I've had bigger capacitors, really big, and I have one. This one's even bigger yet. And I actually had like a 330, I think, in there, and it still wouldn't restart. Now the plug came out. I should put this in a board instead of trying to do the jacks. In any case. Oh, I got to do this. That's right. There, it does. It'll start there. Now that sounds vigorous, doesn't it? Oh, but I know it's coasting. That's the problem. When I plug in the motor fan, the smoke is almost continuous. It's just, you don't see the break. You don't see the snap. You don't see that puff. You just don't see it. And I'm trying to do that. I don't know if there's more I can do to the board. Do I need to change the resistors that I have on there in some fashion or add something somewhere? Trying to learn enough to say what works and what doesn't work, and I really haven't found. The only way I can get this thing to not puff is when I turn the main power down to like 3 volts. Not there yet. That's the problem. That's when I turn this, I'm rocking the boat and I'm losing contact. Shouldn't be so sensitive, but now it stops a little more abrupt, I think, a little more, and we're feeding it about 1 volt. As you can see on the right is the power to the fan. The one on the left is the power into the board. So if I hold it, I get up to 2 volts, but if I just snap it like that, it gets about 1.5, 1.5, 1.4. So that seems to be a good speed, but it still looks to me like it's, coasting a bit. I can try it with the fan and see if the fan helps it or hurts it. I don't know. I did put this tiny little thing in here, and I couldn't tell if that made a difference or not. So I'll post this, and if anybody has any bright ideas, Robert, if you see this and you can think of something, just shoot me an email. I'd try it, okay? I'm at the end. I mean, I got smoke working the way it needs to be. Now I need the puff to be just a little crisper, and then I'll be okay. All right, later.